Now, the greatest radio shows of all time.
Suspense.
The Shadow Node.
Washington calling David Harding, counter-spy.
Classic radio theater.
The Great Gildersleeve.
Fibber McGee and Molly.
Dragnet. Gunsmoke.
The Lone Ranger.
Now, step back into our time machine with your host, Wyatt Cox.
Good evening, friends of the Inner Sanctum.
J. Edgar Hoover called it the finest radio program on the air. This is your FBI. ABC program that was originally broadcast on May 10th, 1946. This show entitled The Carnival Killer.
The Equitable Life Assurance Society presents This is Your FBI. This is Your FBI, an official broadcast from the files of the Federal Bureau of Investigation, presented as a public service by the Equitable Life Assurance Society of the United States and the Equitable Society's representative in your community. Tonight's FBI file, The Carnival Killing.
Day after day, the criminal goes on defying it. And, as twice reflected in tonight's case from the files of your FBI, day after day, he is caught up in its inevitability. The inevitability of that ancient truth which disciplines all human conduct, and from which there is no exemption. Be sure your sins will find you out. Our story tonight could take place in most any kind of setting you could name. And it could involve persons of most any rank or station in life. But it just so happens that this particular time, it actually took place in a carnival setting. That music, of course, is coming from a merry-go-round somewhere down the midway. And the crowd just part of the Saturday afternoon throng. Over here to one side, the main money wagon. The attractive girl seated at the open window is the cashier. And the dapper young gent in the plaid suit and straw hat just walking up to her runs the concession just across the midway.
Hi, babe.
Hi, Larry.
Well, how goes with the ump chase, huh?
Oh, kind of slow.
Yeah, I got the same complaint.
No biz?
Not enough. But here's 100 you can salt away for us.
Hey, that ain't bad.
Well, if the suckers will start throwing hoops, I ought to take in another yard by shutdown.
Keep slugging then, Junior.
And pretty soon, babe, you get that ring.
You mean the big one? The one we seen in St. Louis?
Oh, are you kidding? That comes heavy, sweetie.
Well, it was your idea.
Okay. I'll keep slugging for it. Here, give me 4 rolls of quarters, huh?
Mm-hmm. Here you are.
See you later, babe.
So long, Larry.
Hello.
Oh?
Well, we settled the intro real quick, didn't we?
Did we?
My name's Jack Crawford. What's yours?
People who know me call me Babe.
I'll buy that.
You don't know me.
I will.
Fast operator.
How long you been waiting for that ring?
You were on the Erie, huh?
That's right.
Why should the ring interest you?
With me, you could have had it by now.
Stop, will you?
I mean it.
Look. That ring has a marriage deal wrapped around it, mister. So, I guess the show is over.
Just the first act, babe.
What do you mean?
Here comes the second act now.
Oh, he's seen you talking to me.
What's wrong with that?
Larry don't like for me to fool around.
No kidding.
Okay, Mac, quit bothering to help and move along before I...
Before you what?
Just get moving, that's all.
You remember me now, don't you? Don't you?
What are you talking about?
Babe, there's an old saying.
You can't fool all of the people all of the time. Not even with a mustache. Am I right, Mr. Hampton?
His name ain't Hampton, it's Marlin.
Back in Terre Haute, it was Hampton.
Larry, what's this all about?
Oh, he's got me mixed up, that's all.
Say, tell the guy to quit covering, will you? It just so happens that your boyfriend here is a deserter from the Army.
What?
And on account of that, the FBI is looking for him, and...
That's enough.
I figured it would be.
Larry.
Now, as I was saying, back in Terre Haute, his name was Hampton. We were old pals back there, right, Larry? Well, even though he won't admit it, honey, we were. And because we were pals, I'm going to have to ask him for a little favor.
What do you want?
I got to get out of circulation for a while, and this looks like a good place to do it. So I'm moving in with you.
Now, wait a minute.
And remember, before you make any beefs, that I'm in a real good spot to blow a whistle. So how about it?
Okay.
Well, that's the end of the second act. Third act coming up, babe.
A few miles away in the St. Louis office of the FBI, Agent in Charge Phillips has just summoned Special Agent Gaynor to his office.
You want to see me, Mr. Phillips?
Yes, Gaynor.
Well, what's up?
Just got a follow-up on that Oklahoma bank robbery yesterday.
Really?
The agents down there caught 2 of the men early this morning.
Did they talk?
Yes. Here's the description of the 3rd man, still at large.
Has it been checked with Washington?
That's Washington's check on it in your hand now. Just came in on the teletype.
Oh.
The man's name is Jack Crawford.
He's already served 2 years for robbery, too.
His home state is Indiana, and he just may be headed for there.
Which could bring him through Missouri and maybe even St. Louis. How was he traveling last?
In the car they used in the robbery. There's an alarm out on it now.
Well, he may abandon that soon.
So it'll make his trail that much hotter.
Well, are we getting a set of fingerprints and a photo on him?
In the morning, airmail.
Good.
You better contact police headquarters here right away and see that they're up to date on the case, and state police, too.
Right.
Just a minute.
Hiya tonight, babe.
Hello there.
Got sick of hanging around Larry's trailer. Thought I'd come over and see yours.
Uh-huh.
You asking me in?
Okay, come ahead.
Thanks. Hey, it's real nice. All them curtains and stuff, just like home.
Thanks.
You, through work for the day?
No, I just got 2 hours off.
Well, I got 2 free hours myself. Mind if I sit down?
Go ahead.
Thanks.
Where's Larry?
Out clipping the suckers, I guess. You know, this Connie business is quite a touch. Imagine making a living out of people throwing hoops at Little King.
Does Larry know you came over here?
Why?
He ain't gonna like it.
That gonna bother you?
No.
Then, let's not worry about him.
Okay.
Tell me something, will you?
What?
This ring business. You really gonna marry the guy?
That's the general idea.
Why?
Why do most people get married?
Well, the book says love. You know, that moonlight and roses stuff. But, I don't seem to catch any of that going on with you.
You're doing an awful fast add-up, mister.
No. Just watching history repeat itself.
What do you mean?
I already told you I knew Larry back in Terre Haute.
So?
So I've seen him in action with other dames. He's one of them nice guy characters. You know, sweetheart, that's all right for squares, but it ain't for you. Am I right?
Want some coffee?
Am I right?
You're right.
You know what you really want? Someone like me.
I'm gonna make that coffee.
Wait a minute. Come in.
Well?
Now look, sweetheart.
Who is it?
Me, Larry.
Oh.
Let him in.
But he...
Let him in.
Hiya, honey. I just got a minute and I thought I'd go... What are you doing here, Jack?
Just dropped in.
Babe, has this guy been bothering you?
No, he just came here looking for you.
He knew where to find me. He came here to see you.
Look. Remember, I'm your guest. You forget it, you'll be Uncle Sam's guest, so just take it easy. See you later, babe.
Phillips speaking.
This is Gaynor, Mr. Phillips.
Oh, got a lead on Jack Crawford?
Yes, the police just found his car.
Where?
He drove it into a garage here in St. Louis yesterday morning early and apparently abandoned it.
That gives him over a 24-hour start on us.
I know.
Any new auto thefts reported?
No?
And start checking bus, railroad, and airline terminals and ticket offices. You've got his photo.
Yes.
If he didn't steal or buy transportation out of here, then he's somewhere in the vicinity.
I hope he is.
So do I. Keep in touch.
Right.
Hey, babe.
What is it, Larry?
I thought you were going to wait for me at the money wagon.
I didn't say I would.
But you always do.
Look, I've got to get back to the trailer.
Wait a minute, babe. Look, I got to talk to you.
Save it, will you, Larry? I'm tired.
Well, I just wanted to tell you, honey, I'm sorry about this afternoon. I didn't mean to blow my top. But that guy coming to see you, finding him there, I just couldn't take it.
You told me all that. Good night, Larry.
Let me come in a minute, babe. I've got to talk this out with you.
It's been talked out.
Please, just for a minute.
Okay, come ahead. Don't forget this is getaway night. We got a long trip ahead of us.
I know.
Can you turn on the light?
Yeah, sure. There we are.
Hiya, Larry.
Jack.
What are you doing here?
Waiting for Babe.
What for?
Because I wanted to see it.
Look, you get out of here. Get out quick.
Oh, wait a minute. I think Babe should have something to say about that. You want me to go, honey?
Leave her out of this.
Look, please, don't start anything.
Yeah, the Army might not like it.
Jack, I got some news for you on that Army business. It isn't going to work anymore.
No?
No. You know why I deserted. You know I went over the hill because my mother was sick. And at the time, I didn't have guts enough to go back. But your moving in on me has changed my mind.
This hero talk is for your benefit, honey.
No. It's for something I found again after a long, long time. My self-respect.
Oh, this is great. Tell us more, Daddy.
I've finished. And now get out.
What for? You're going to turn yourself in. There's no need for me to get out. Ever.
What do you mean?
You tell him, Babe.
No, Jack, please.
Okay, then I'll spill. It makes no difference to Babe whether you go through with this patriotic pitch or not.
What?
She's changed her mind, too.
Babe, what's he talking
Look,
about?
let's not argue anymore tonight, huh?
Honey, he might as well know.
Well?
She's found herself a real guy.
Why, you dirty...
Jack! Jack, darling, did he hurt you?
Yeah, he hurt me, but not as bad as this bottle will hurt him.
Jack, you hit him awful hard.
So what?
He's bleeding awful bad. Jack, I think he's dead.
May 10th, 1946. This is your FBI on Classic Radio Theater with Wyatt Cox. Thanks for tuning into Classic Radio Theater with Wyatt Cox here on your favorite station. May 10th, 1946. This is your FBI.
And now back to the FBI file, the Carnival Killing.
Sometimes fate inflicts a far severer penalty for a crime than justice would have meted out. Justice would not have demanded the life of the Army deserter, the man called Larry Marlin, but fate, in the form of a conspiracy by one who found out his crime, did take his life. So however harsh the penalty, it confirms the inevitability of that truth. Be sure your sins will find you out. And as for the man who took his life, it is next morning now, and in answer to a call from police headquarters a few minutes ago, Agent in Charge Phillips of the FBI's St. Louis office, accompanied by Special Agent Gaynor, have just entered the city morgue.
Here's the body right here, Mr. Phillips. We knew, of course, this couldn't be Jack Crawford.
No, that's not Crawford.
But since no identification was found on him, we thought we'd better check with you in case he just might be somebody else the FBI was interested in.
Glad you did.
Took a set of fingerprints for you. Here they are.
Thanks. Anything familiar about him to you, Gaynor?
No, I can't say that there is.
Look again, Gaynor. Forget there's a mustache on him.
Yes. Yes, there is something kind of familiar about that face now that you mention it.
Lawrence Hampton.
Hampton?
He's an Army deserter. We took his photo out of the files just last week.
Oh, sure, I remember.
I'm certain it's he.
Well, the fingerprints will tell for sure.
Where was this body found, officer?
Way out near the edge of town. South side. Just before daylight.
It's a nasty gash on his head.
Yes. We thought at first he was a hit-and-run victim. But we checked some fragments of glass. We found the wound. They weren't from headlights.
What then?
They appear to be pieces from a whiskey bottle.
And this was deliberate murder.
I'd think so.
Any trace of the whiskey bottle near the body?
No, and we did a thorough search for it, too. It's my theory that the murder was committed somewhere else, and the body dumped there.
Where are his clothes?
We had them outside in the locker.
Gaynor.
Yes, sir?
Check them over. See what you can find.
Right.
I'm going to take these prints back to the office and make sure they're Hampton's.
That you, babe?
Yeah.
I thought you were working right through.
Well, I had to get a relief. I feel awful.
What's the matter?
Now, what do you think?
Look, forget that, will you?
Jack, how can I?
Nothing's going to happen, baby. When they find the body, they'll think he was hit by a car, that's all. Besides, he's a Lamester. The cops won't care how he got it.
That part of it don't bother me.
What are you feeling so bad about?
The way it happened. You're killing him like that.
Look, how many times do I have to tell you I did it in self-defense? Besides, it brought us together, didn't it?
Yeah.
All right. Anybody been asking for him?
Sure.
What'd you tell him?
Just like we made it up that he went off on a bender this morning as soon as we hit the lot. Probably wound up in St. Louis.
That should cover it good.
Jack, let's get out of here.
Quit the show?
Yeah.
Look, honey, if you take a run out, you might as well put an ad in the paper that you done the job.
I done it.
Sure. So take a pill for your nerves, kid, and go on back to work. Everything's going to turn out fine.
Can I come in, Mr. Phillips?
Yes, come ahead, Gaynor. How'd you make out?
I have plenty to report.
Good. Oh, by the way, the victim is definitely Hampton. I checked the prints.
And I checked his clothes.
What'd you find?
Well, nothing much until I got down to his shoes.
Oh, what about them?
Well, I examined the heels. They were made of rubber, and stuck in the indentations were bits of what turned out to be popcorn, peanut shells, and sawdust.
That sounds like you've been to the circus, but there aren't any playing in St. Louis.
Now, there was a carnival playing quite near where Hampton was found. It closed last night.
I see.
Now, if the officer's theory was right, if Hampton was killed elsewhere and dumped on the highway, the murder might have been committed on or near the carnival grounds.
Yes?
And I'm checking to find out where the show moved to, and well, meanwhile, I wondered if I should cooperate with the local police and hop out and go over the grounds with them.
Good idea. Get on it right away. Phillips speaking.
This is Gaynor, Mr. Phillips.
Oh, where are you, Gaynor?
I just left the carnival grounds.
Any luck?
Yes, plenty. We found a number of blood-stained fragments of the bottle that was used in the murder.
That was a break.
I know. The neck of the bottle was intact, and there appears to be a good set of fingerprints on it.
Fine.
And we found these fragments where the trailers had been parked, the trailers that the people in the show lived in.
I see. Well, that could localize the killing.
Yes. Now, has any report come in on where the show moved to?
Not yet. It shouldn't be hard to find.
May 10th, 1946, this is your FBI on Classic Radio Theater with Wyatt Cox. The conclusion follows these messages from your favorite station. Classic Radio Theater family, you know our friend Mike Lindell has a passion to help everyone get the best sleep of your life. He didn't stop by just creating the best pillow. He created the best bed sheets ever. They look and feel great, which means an even better night's sleep for me, because, you know, I'm working like 67 hours a day. Now, Mike's offering the best deal on his Giza Dreams bed sheets ever. You can get a set of Giza sheets for as low as $29.98. You'll never want to sleep on anything else once you slept on a set of Giza Dream sheets. A special offer for you right now. You can get a set of Giza sheets for as low as $29.98. Call 1-800-928-4715. Use the promo code Wyatt. Or go to mypillow.com, use the promo code Wyatt. It's good on anything on the website. That number again, 1-800-928-4715. Use my promo code Wyatt. Now on Classic Radio Theater with Wyatt Cox, the conclusion of This Is Your FBI, The Carnival Killer, May 10th, 1946.
Well, I'll bring the section of the bottle with the prints back with me.
Good. We can do a quick check in our files before sending them on to Washington.
Yes, sir. I'll be right over.
Gaynor.
Yes, sir?
Will you put those prints under the glass again, please?
Yes, sir.
There's something familiar about that one whorl. Hand me that stack of prints there.
All right.
I'm just going to play a hunch.
Here you are.
Now, let me see. That's identical. Those lines check. Little break there. It's the same Gaynor, the same prints. My hunch was right.
Well, who is it?
Our elusive friend, Jack Crawford.
Crawford?
Yes.
Really? Well, how did he and Hampton ever get together?
Now, that's what we have to find out. You say this bottle was found near where they parked the employees' trailers?
That's right.
Well, there's a chance Crawford is somehow linked with that show.
Well, a report just came in. We know where they're playing now. It's only 50 miles from here.
I think we better get out there fast.
Who is it?
Let me in.
Come on.
What'd you have the door locked for?
I ain't looking for company. Thought you were going to keep working.
Oh, Jack, I had to quit. 1,000 pills wouldn't do me any good.
Now,
I
look.
mean it. Every time a stranger had come up to the booth, I'd think it was a cop getting set to ask a few questions. I felt people standing in the crowds looking at me like they were watching my every move.
Hey, take it easy. Will you take it easy?
I can't go on with this anymore. We got to get out of here, and right now.
What'll we use for dough?
I got Larry's money. Some he gave me toward the ring.
How far will that get us?
I don't care. We got to go now.
Okay, babe. We do it your way. But how do we explain pulling out?
Well, I'll say that I'm going to St. Louis to look for Larry.
That'll do, I guess.
You go get the car. It's parked in the lot.
Okay.
Stay where you are, Crawford.
Huh?
Don't try anything.
Jack, who's that?
We're special agents of the FBI. We want to talk to you both about the murder of Larry Hampton.
Jack Crawford was sentenced to a long term in the penitentiary for the murder of Larry Hampton. His female companion was also sent to prison for her part in the crime. Why do criminals go on defying the inevitability of that inexorable truth? Be sure your sins will find you out. Why do they go on making their futile challenges to the inescapability of justice? Why do they play a game they cannot possibly beat? It's not even a gamble, for a gamble presupposes a chance to win. But justice gives no odds. Justice is unbeatable. Next week, we will bring you another colorful story from the files of the Federal Bureau of Investigation. The Fugitive Horse Player.
The incidents used in tonight's Equitable Life Assurance Society's broadcast are adapted from the files of the Federal Bureau of Investigation. However, all names used are fictitious, and any similarity thereof to the names of persons living or dead is accidental. Tonight, the music was composed and conducted by Frederick Steiner. The author was Frank Ferries, and your narrator was Dean Carlton. This is Your FBI is a Jerry Devine production. And now this is Carl Frank speaking for the Equitable Life Assurance Society of the United States and the Equitable Society's representative in your community, and inviting you to tune in again next week at this same time when the Equitable Life Assurance Society of the United States will bring you another colorful story from the files of the Federal Bureau of Investigation. The Fugitive Horse Player. On This Is Your FBI.
May 10th, 1946, this is your FBI on Classic Radio Theater with Wyatt Cox. Now on Classic Radio Theater with Wyatt Cox, Part 4 of the 5-part yours truly Johnny Dollar story, The Silver Blue Matter, Juvenile Delinquency and Theft, originally broadcast on May 10th, 1956.
From Hollywood, it's time now for...
Johnny Dollar.
Lieutenant Garcia, Johnny. Are the boys in the police car still there?
There are 3 police cars here now. They've searched the apartment house from top to bottom.
Any luck?
No, Eddie got away. I didn't dare make a move to stop him. He was going to shoot his sister.
Well, we'll get him, Johnny. Don't worry about it.
I don't intend to. My job now is to locate $100,000 worth of stolen furs, not to go after Eddie Monty.
It's the same job, isn't it?
Probably. Did you see that list of his friends Carla gave me?
I just put out an APB to bring them in.
Good. They weren't all in on that warehouse robbery, but some of them were.
If they were, we'll take them. We've got an interrogation room down here to sort the sheep from the goats.
Yeah, I know. But first you got to catch your goats.
Tonight, and every weekday night, Bob Bailey in the transcribed adventures of the man with the action-packed expense account. America's fabulous freelance insurance investigator.
Yours truly, Johnny Dollar. From Special Investigator Johnny Dollar, location Los Angeles, California. To the Home Office, Mono Guarantee Insurance Company, Hartford, Connecticut. Assignment, The Silver Blue Matter. Expense account continued. Item 12, 2 cents for the way I felt. I hung up the phone and walked to the window, stood there looking out into the street. The police were leaving the apartment to carry their search for fugitive Eddie Monty into wider territory. And Eddie's sister, Carla, sat huddled in a corner, forlorn, beaten, broken-hearted. From the window, too, the view was anything but cheerful. Dirty, cluttered streets lined by row on row of sagging tenements, drab and gray in the weakening light of late afternoon. This was the slums that had spawned Eddie Monty, raised and nurtured him, made him into a member of a gang, and had now sent him fleeing from the police with a gun in his hand. And the same slum had bred the others of the gang who'd robbed a warehouse of 80 silver blue mink coats, slugged night watchman Albert Grisman into a near-death coma, and had murdered a man who'd tried to give them away.
Why, Johnny? What got into him? Why is he ending up this way?
I wish I could tell you, Carla.
I did something wrong. That's it, of course, but what?
Forget it. You did all you could.
It wasn't enough.
Well, sometimes nothing is enough. And nobody knows exactly why.
I loved him. I never thought of him as just a nuisance of a kid brother, the way a lot of girls do.
Now, look. You did more than anybody could expect. You were a pretty young kid when your folks died. Too young to have to take on the responsibility of raising a teenage brother.
But I tried. I tried hard. And I thought I was doing all right until lately. But now...
So it didn't work. And what's happened is breaking your heart. Well, that can't be changed. But just remember this one thing. You did the best you could. And that's all anybody can do. So don't blame yourself.
Tell me something, Johnny.
Yeah?
You're wearing a gun. I don't think Eddie knew it when he ran from here. Maybe you couldn't have used it to disarm him.
Not when he was on the verge of killing you.
But you could have drawn it and killed him. He was careless. He gave you several chances. Why didn't you?
I don't know.
Thank you, Johnny.
I'd like to look through Eddie's room, if you don't mind.
All right. I'll go with you. This way. It's down the hall.
Thanks.
Oh, somehow I still can't believe it. Not the killing, at least. Eddie is just not that kind.
Well, a kid gets under pressure sometimes and gets pushed overboard. Maybe we'll know more when they pick him up.
What if he tries to resist arrest?
You know the answer to that.
Oh, I hope he doesn't. Well, here it is. This has been Eddie's room since he was 13. It ought to tell something.
The main thing at the moment is to find something that tells where he might go to hide out. And I've also got $100,000 worth of furs to locate.
Well, you go ahead and look around. Whatever you want.
Okay, thanks.
I'll be in the living room. You call me if you want me.
For the sake of company, I switched on a beat-up record player in the corner. And I looked at 6 years of a boy's life, accumulated in one room. Comic books, hot rod magazines, school mementos, knickknacks, photographs. Junk mostly to anybody but the owner. I went through all of it, then through the drawers and chest and through his clothes. Nothing. I looked over the photographs stuck in the mirror tacked on the wall. Some of the names on the boys' pictures were the same as those on the list Carla had given to the police. There were a few pictures of girls and a lot of pictures of hot rods. I picked up an envelope of loose photographs lying on the dresser. They were views of a second-hand panel truck, and in all of the pictures, Eddie was standing beside the truck with obvious pride of ownership. One of the views showed the front license plate. I turned the envelope over. The film had been developed less than 2 weeks before. I called Carla back into the room and asked her about it.
No, I didn't know he had a car, or a truck, rather.
It may not be his, but I'll lay odds that it is. That look on his face is a dead giveaway.
I don't know. He sure kept it a secret. He never brought it here once.
Do you recognize the background in those pictures?
No, I don't. It looks like a storage yard or an industrial place of some kind, doesn't it?
Yeah, I'd call it that. Do you mind if I take these with me?
Of course not. But why?
The gang had to use something to haul those furs away from the warehouse.
But if Eddie was keeping the truck a secret from me, it was because he was planning to use it for the robbery.
That one or some other one.
Johnny, he was in on it all along.
Look, Carla, I've got a hunch Eddie is the leader of that gang.
Oh, no.
I think the truck was used in the robbery, and I think when we find it, we'll find the furs, and we'll find Eddie. See you later, Carla. Expense account item 13, $1.85. Taxi fare from Carla's apartment to the police headquarters office of Lieutenant Garcia.
Come in. Oh, Johnny, I've been trying to locate you.
Oh, what's up?
We picked up 2 of those kids on Carla Monte's list. Friends of Eddie's.
Wow, that's a start.
Not with one of them. He's in the clear. Perfect alibi. We have something on the other one, though. Want to help me talk to him?
Yeah, sure. Oh, say, here are some photographs I picked up in Eddie's room a while ago. We should take a look at them, Garcia.
All right, let's see them.
The pictures were taken about 2 or 3 weeks ago. Now, if this truck is his sister doesn't know about it.
Yeah, he sure got that owner look on his face.
Yeah, he sure has. That second one there shows the license number, see?
Yeah, I see it. You think they might have used this in the robbery, Johnny?
It's a possibility. And we're not exactly swamped with angles. I was wondering, too, if you happen to recognize that background behind the truck.
No. Oh, but it looks like it might be down in that area somewhere, the warehouse district.
Look, why don't you get some copies made, circulate them, and see if any of your boys can tag the place?
Oh, you insurance dicks do get ideas sometimes.
Oh, you'd be amazed.
All right, I'll do it. And now let's go down and talk to that kid.
Interrogation room 519 was on the 5th floor. Bare walls painted gray, a businesslike room without a doorman or compromise. Furnished only with the necessary table, chairs, and lights. We stopped in the anteroom and looked in through the one-way glass window. The boy waited alone at the interrogation table, trying to put up a tough, defiant front, but failing by the tremble of a lip and the occasional flick of his eyes.
Well, let's go in, get it over with.
The kid stiffened when he heard the door open, but he didn't turn around. He just sat there at the table, braced and waiting.
You can take that chair at the side, Johnny.
Okay, thanks.
What's your name?
You already know it.
I said, what's your name?
Mario Centaurus.
That your right name?
Yeah.
Where do you live?
Roxman Place, my aunt.
Ever been arrested before, Mario?
No.
You've got kind of a bad memory, haven't you?
Why?
September of last year. Arrest made by Officer C.J. Barton. Charge, possession of stolen articles. Hubcap, 2 autoradios, 1 camera.
I wasn't convicted.
I asked if you'd ever been arrested. Not convicted.
It was a frame-up. I didn't have any evidence.
No, apparently not. Witnesses for the prosecution refused to testify. Case dismissed. Here. What are you going to claim this time, Mario? Another frame-up?
I don't know why you brought me in here. I don't know anything about anything.
That bad memory again, huh?
I just don't know what you're talking about.
It's lucky for us that Eddie Monty had such a good memory, isn't
Yes.
What about Eddie? Huh? What do you mean?
Is he a friend of yours?
I know him.
He's got a fine memory, that boy. Too bad you can't remember things the way he does.
What are you talking about?
Oh, that's true, all right. Eddie remembers everything that happened. What he did, what Mario did.
I don't know what you mean.
Well, that's because of your bad memory, Mario. Why, Eddie remembers the name of every boy who was in on that job and just what each one of them did.
What job?
That warehouse robbery. Have you forgotten about that?
I don't know anything about any robbery.
Well, there's been a lot of talk. At least you've heard about it, haven't you?
I don't know anything about it.
Maybe you've just forgotten.
I don't know what you're talking about.
When did you see Eddie last?
I don't remember.
Have you seen him since the robbery?
No.
How can you be sure? You said you hadn't heard of any robbery.
Well, I haven't.
Still, you haven't seen Eddie since the robbery.
Well,
Come on, Mario. Tell us about it.
I guess maybe I did hear about it.
So?
Well, why shouldn't I hear? It was in the papers. Everybody's been talking about it, so what if I did hear it? I don't prove anything.
But you said you hadn't heard.
So I forgot. Guy can forget something, can't he?
Yeah. If he's got a bad memory, he can.
And Mario's got a real bad memory, Johnny.
Not Eddie, though. He remembers how you guys loaded those furs into his truck. How you waited across the street in Red Weller's until the prowl car passed. How you slugged the night watchman, Albert Christmas.
That's a lie.
How do you know it is, Mario? You don't even remember it. Eddie does, though. He even remembers the next night. When you stabbed Red Weller to death to keep him from coming to me.
No. No, I didn't do that.
Of course you did. You don't think Eddie would lie, do you?
It's not true.
Makes sense to us.
Is Eddie here? You pick him up?
How would we know what he remembers unless we picked him up? Now, how do you think we got your name? Out of the telephone book?
It's not true what Eddie says.
Well, if you've got anything to say, we'll listen to it. But I don't think it's necessary, do you, Johnny?
No, I think Eddie remembers everything. Let's get out of here.
Yeah.
He's lying! You listen to me. I'll tell you the truth.
I'll get a stenographer.
Now, here's our star to tell you about the final intriguing episode of this week's story.
Tomorrow, a cautious search, an ambush, bullets and tears. And the end is violence. Join us, won't you? Yours truly, Johnny Dollar.
Yours truly, Johnny Dollar, starring Bob Bailey, is transcribed in Hollywood. Written by Les Crutchfield, it is produced and directed by Jack Johnstone. Be sure to join us tomorrow night, same time and station, for the next exciting episode of Yours truly, Johnny Dollar. Roy Rowan speaking.
It all crumbles around them. May 10th, 1956, yours truly, Johnny Dollar, on Classic Radio Theater with Wyatt Cox. Visit our webpage if you have a mind to, classicradio.stream. Stream our shows, learn about building a classic radio collection of your own. You can contact me, find our social media links. You can find lists of places where our shows are available via podcast, so that way you can download the shows and listen to them over and over again. That's at classicradio.stream. Oh, at classicradio.stream, you can buy me a copy if you like. That'll help us acquire additional classic radio collections, and it'll also help us maintain our distribution channels. That's at classicradio.stream. Thank you so much for making us a part of your day. Tell all your friends the greatest radio shows of all time are right here at this spot on the dial. Classic Radio Theater with Wyatt Cox on your favorite radio station.